Bonjour and welcome to a new unboxing video, and today we've got something from one of my favorite Star Trek shows, because we're going to be talking about Star Trek. Yes, I know. And having said that, I love all Star Trek shows, but I do have a special passion for Star Trek Lower Decks, which is the animated series, and this is a hint basically, because we're going to be having some Star Trek Lower Decks toys. Well, toys, it's figures, it's statues, we're not quite sure. But before that, I just wanted to show you this. This is actually the official Badgey plush toy, which has just been released by Masters Replica. So it's really good fun. They already did a Moopsie. I know, yeah, Moopsie. And now they've got a Badgey. So let's check what else we've got about Lower Decks. And it comes from a very unlikely company, because it's EXO-6. And EXO-6, if you know them, they do those very, very high-end hot toy style 12-inch figures of Star Trek. I mean, they've got the license for all the shows, and they look absolutely fantastic. They don't do anything for me, because it's not the type of thing that I collect, but they're absolutely beautiful. And so I was very surprised when EXO-6 actually announced a series of statue, well, that's what they call them, from Lower Decks. And here you go, you do have 3 of them. They're called basically 1/10 scale statue, so meaning that they're about 8 to 9 inches tall. I think it's 8 inches, or maybe it's 7 inches. I'm getting confused. They do say that they are statues with interchangeable parts, and for me they look more like figures than statues. So you do have 3 of them. You do have a Bradward Boimler. We do have, of course, Beckett Mariner. And we do have the aforementioned Badgey, which is a 2-pack, because you've got basically Gucci and Badgey, or the good version of Badgey and the bad version of Badgey. So here you go. So we're going to open all that and see what it looks like. Before I open them, if you can see, basically that's the side of the figure. So on one side of the box you do have one of the versions of the statue, because you will understand once you see inside. And if I turn it around, you do have the other version of the statues. But for now, let's open them, and we're going to start with Mr. Boimler. So basically you do have the box on the side. As I said, you do have one version of the statue. On the other side you do have the other version of the statue. On top you do have the Star Trek logo. You do have, of course, all the legal information on that. And without any further ado, we're going to free him from his plastic prison. So inside of it you just have a basic background. I'm going to put that here. So they do have like a sheet explaining that you've got a panicky head, a cam head, a panic right arm, a panic left arm, body base, right cam arm, left cam arm, right pointing arm, live long and prosper hand, left tricorder hand, a left pat hand. So basically one thing they do say on that is that all those are held together in friction, sorry. So it means you need firm pressure, but don't force it. So we're going to see basically how that works. They give you some little details. We're going to open them and see how they look. So here is Boimler. He looks absolutely fantastic. As you can see, he's very panicky, so I've given him his left and right panicky arm. There is, of course, apart, it's not articulated, it's just basically you pull out the arm and put it back in, but they are actually not articulated. You can't move the arms at all, so that's the thing to know. You can of course remove the head and we are going to put him on. Sorry about that. So it's interesting because under his feet you do have the Starfleet logo, like basically you do have them on his boot in the series, but of course that's basically what you use to put them on the stand. So we're going to put him on the stand, and it might be easier to discover what he's like once he's on his stand. So here you go. This is Boimler. I mean, he looks absolutely fantastic. He's brilliant. I really like him. Those are very, very nicely done. Love the paint job. I mean, it's very much what you would expect Boimler to be. And as I was saying, you do have different hands. So you do have a pointing hand here, which means that you can probably change one of the, yes, it's that hand that you can actually change. So this is the Live Long and Prosper hand. You do have a tricorder hand. Tricorder is not removable, they actually do say that. And we do have a pad hand. Same thing, the pad can't be removed from his hand. And we do have an extra head. So what is really cool about that is that, so we do have a completely panicked Boimler, and if I remove his arm, his head, put a new head, they do say that they are a bit fiddly. The head is a bit fiddly. They actually say yeah, because there is actually a notch in the neck, so you need to make sure that it's all well aligned or it doesn't slide in and you may break it. So it's very, very nicely done. So we are going to give him his tricorder and he's going to be saying live long and prosper. So that's a very different look for him, but you can also change, for example, if you don't want him to say live long and to actually use his tricorder, you can give him a pad and he can be giving an explanation, and he's actually giving an explanation here. So really, really a very, very cool figure. I really like the idea. The concept is really good. I was quite wondering what they would be like, but this is really, really a lot of fun. Let's see, to know about the size, we're going to compare with the size of a Mego figure, and yep, they are Mego scale, which is really cool. So basically they are about 8 inches, which is fantastic. So anyway, so that's the first one, and we're going to check. As you can see, well, as I was explaining, you do have a sheet showing you exactly what parts are what and how to do it, and some instruction to avoid basically breaking anything, which is always useful. And we're going to open now the second one of the series, which is Beckett Mariner. So same thing, you do have Beckett Mariner on one side, you do have another look of Beckett Mariner here, and in the back you do have the usual information, like people who did the figures, who did the sculpt, the people who managed the project, I mean, as usual. So we're going to open that. Once again, we do have a little sheet explaining to us right phaser arm, left phaser arm, body base, right bat left arm, left bat left arm, and bat left. So it's very interesting that we do have a very different look, and she doesn't have as many accessories as Boimler, and she only has one head, whereas Boimler has two. I'm actually amazed by one thing, is how well everything snaps together. So here you go, we do have Marina here, so she does have the bat'leth here, so that's one of her looks. I mean, she looks really cool. I mean, I'm just turning around so that I can show you the figure. I mean, she's got a jacket is open, there's a lot of movement in that, and of course she does come with two other arms, so we're going to see how that works, because this one seems to be a bit more complicated in the sense that you do have to make sure that, because you have to remove the bat'leth as well. So I'm not quite sure. Here you go. So you can actually separate the bat'leth, but I find it probably better to keep them together. But they do say on the sheet that you can actually disconnect the bat'leth from the arm, but let's make things easy. And we're going to give her another look, the phaser look. She really looks great. She's fantastic. I really like those figures. I mean, and when you've got them together, of course they work even better. So I don't know if I prefer the phaser look or the bat'leth look, but probably the bat'leth look, I would say. So that's the second one, and now we do have a third one, which is going to be a bit different, because we actually have a set of two, and it's basically Badgey in his good and evil persona. It's going to be interesting. It doesn't seem to have as many accessories. On one side, of course, you do have the evil Badgey, and on the other side you've got the good Badgey. Is it good J though? I'm not sure. Badgey when he's good, and you do have Badgey when he's evil, and they look absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love them. They're brilliant. It's very simple, but those are so much fun. So here you go. That's the three figures from EXO-6. So I will show you again the box. So it's called Star Trek Lower Deck 1/10 scale statues by EXO-6, and you do have three figures in available. We do have Beckett Mariner that I'm going to show you again, and she looks absolutely fantastic. We do have Boimler, Bradward Boimler, and he looks so great. And the most fun ones are evil and good Badgey. So here you go. They're available at the moment. I mean, you can find them online quite easily. You can order them directly from EXO-6. You can get them from Mondo. I think you can get them from other online retailers. So that's great. I absolutely love them. I didn't know what to expect, but I'm quite happy with what they've done. It's much better than what I expected. So I will speak to you again soon. Bye.